Hello and welcome to Everything Arsenal. Let's catch up with the latest news. The latest on Alexander Isak to Arsenal, the latest on Trossard Partey and Jorginho, more on that, and then the contract situation with Saka and Gabriel. Yesterday we talked about Saliba and his contract situation, but now we need to talk about Saka and Gabriel. Saka and Gabriel, none of them is in the top five most paid players at Arsenal right now. Yeah, and you definitely argue that Saka and Gabriel, alongside Saliba, are the most important players at Arsenal. In fact, Gabriel is 18th in terms of salary at Arsenal. He's like number one in our most important players, but he's 18th in terms of money paid. So we definitely need to sort that one out. And both of them, they're not anywhere close to their contracts ending, but 2 years to go. We need to sort that one out. So let's start with Alexander Isak and the latest on him. We already know this summer transfer, we need a striker like we did last summer transfer window. Surely this time we are not going to mess up again. Surely not. So this is the latest on Alexander Isak, the striker that everyone has been talking about, obviously. And this is the latest. According to Hans of Ozil, who obviously has a lot of inside information from team news to transfers. He even said Palmer was going to miss the game the day previously, so he definitely has some inside information. This is what he had to say. Arsenal are willing to smash their transfer record to sign Alexander Isak, and Andrea Berta has presented ideas to make it viable. There's been constant contact with the strikers camp since early last year, and personal terms are not seen to be an issue. So usually when we get these big players, we haven't gotten so many of them, but recently we've signed Declan Rice, and we did a lot of work to sign him from the previous seasons. We started talking to him like a year before, and by January we had tips that he was definitely going to join us in the summer transfer window. And the only way we can sign Alexander Isak is if, one, that is what we've done. We've done some inside job and we've talked to Isak, we've talked to his camp, and he wants to join Arsenal. That has to be the case, first of all. Number two, Newcastle have to not qualify for the Champions League. They've won a trophy this season, and if they finish in the top four, and if they maybe improve Isak's contract and give him more money over there, does he really have to leave? You have to consider that as well. And number three, if he leaves Newcastle, it's not just Arsenal who are going to want him. You'd expect Liverpool to be linked to Isak. A couple of other teams, Chelsea are always there. You'd hear they want him. Maybe a team from abroad would want Isak as well, or they'd say they're interested in him. Now, there's a couple of teams that might not be there. The likes of Man City, since they have Haaland, and Real Madrid, since they have Mbappe up front, they might not be interested. But you never know. They might join the race. So the worst thing to happen is someone like Isak to go to Liverpool after they win the league title. That would be disastrous, because that will be, again, next season we'd have even extra work to do to win that Premier League title. So a lot of things have to go our way. So we have to convince him that he joins Arsenal, just like we did with Declan Rice. Declan Rice rejected going to Man City, which was seen as a shock at that time, joining Arsenal ahead of Man City. That is what we'll need to do with Isak as well. We need to convince him to, join Arsenal and leave Newcastle, who could pay more money, who are improving every single season. They're now winning trophies. Who knows? They might try and win a second one next season. So there's a huge possibility that he might want to still go to a different team. So we have to do some work with him and his agents and the rest of his team. We have to do a lot of work. And we were told in January that Arsenal are not going to rush to sign a striker because they already have plans for the summer transfer window, and they basically don't want to waste money. Now, the only way that is going to be seen by Arsenal fans, like, okay, maybe the other point is if they go and spend that money on Isak or someone like a Gyökeres. That's the only way. But if you go and you spend money on a 30 million striker, people will be like, what? Is that what we were waiting for in the summer transfer window? I don't think so. We need a striker that is going to take us to the next level. I've always been very clear. After we competed with City after the first season, 2023 season, I said we don't need a striker. We had scored a lot of goals. Martinelli was shining. Odegaard was shining. Saka was shining. At that time, we hadn't even signed Havertz, but Jesus had a great first season. I was totally okay with us going and buy a replacement for Xhaka. I think I wanted a defender, and I also wanted a backup for Saka. That is all I wanted that summer transfer window. I think most people didn't even really mention a striker after that season. But after last season, we all knew it. Even myself, who the previous season had said you had scored a lot of goals, you had scored even more last season. But I was like, listen, Our goalkeeper is great now. Raya is signing permanently at Arsenal. Our defense looks amazing. Midfield looks great. We have Partey, Rice, Odegaard. They're being considered as one of the best midfield partnerships in the league. Look at Saka shining. Trossard has just come into Arsenal and is doing a great job. Had a good season, had a good finish to the season. Havertz has had a good finish to the season. The only way you can go to the next levels, because 89 points and not winning the league was, and one loss in like a half a year. That was very unlucky not to win the league title last season. So the only thing we can do to compete with Man City is to keep on improving the squad. And now, since we feel like we have the best goalkeeper, we have the best defenders, which other positions are remaining? Striker and maybe a backup for Saka. Let's go and improve on those. Now, we didn't. We went and signed Sterling, Calafiori, Merino, and made Raya's deal permanent. Yeah, that was last season. Made Raya's deal permanent this season. That was the only thing we did when we needed to improve the forward players. You have to keep on taking it to the next level. If we sign us now, for example, if we sign a striker right now and then next season we finish on 97 points and Man City and Liverpool finish on 98, you can't just say, okay, we're never going to win the league. No, you have to go again and try something else. Get another number 10 on top of as well as Odegaard, and then you get another striker as well. You have to keep on going. You have to keep on improving the positions that you haven't improved. And striker is the obvious one that we've never improved. After you do all of that and you still don't win the title, then for me, we can look at the manager and say, okay, we've improved every single position. Now you're the only one that we've never improved on. Maybe you're next. That is the only way for me. I'm going to go on that side of Arteta. But in terms of the squad, that is one position we've never improved. This is the time to improve it. Last season was the time to improve it, but this time we cannot say that we cannot even wait until August 1st to start signing a striker. That needs to be done by June. And Isak, if that is the player they want, they have to go for him. He's not going to be cheap. If it's true that indeed we have 300 million to spend, Isak will probably take half of that. So you have to have a good plan for the other half of it. And yeah, we have to really convince him to join Arsenal. And he would be a big signing. So let's see how that one goes. Looks like we really, really, really wanted Isak, even since his Sociedad days. And listen, if we signed Zubimendi from Sociedad, we signed Odegaard from there. Odegaard has played for Sociedad before. Merino's played for Sociedad before. Why not Isak as well? He's played for Sociedad before. Let's get him as well. Let's get to the next piece of news, and that is the contract situation with Gabriel Magalhães. Now, according to Sammy Markbell, Gabriel Magalhães has held talks of a new contract extension at Arsenal. The player is believed to have interest from clubs in Saudi Arabia. Now, as I've said in the beginning of the video, Gabriel is the 18th most paid player at Arsenal. That is criminal. Criminal. He's getting paid 100,000 per week. You know, players like Tierney, 110,000 per week. Same with Jorginho. Zinchenko is paid more than him. Even Tomiyasu is paid the same number as Gabriel. You know, players like Jesus, Havertz are at the top of our most paid players when it should really be players like Gabriel and Saliba. So I don't think he's that kind of player to come and say, listen, why am I getting paid the lowest? I don't think he's that kind of player. But if I was his agent, I would definitely be coming to Arsenal and saying, listen, this is the most important player in this team. Why is he getting paid the lowest? He should probably be the highest. And you definitely agree, you know, he's supposed to be on at least 200,000 per week. Gabriel is that important, and the way his game has improved over the last 3 seasons. To 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, people are talking about Pablo Mari being better than Gabriel. 2 seasons ago, people are talking about, you know, Gabriel, can we improve on him? A season ago, people are talking about Saliba being miles ahead of Gabriel, need to get a better supporter for Saliba. Now, you can argue Gabriel has had a better season than Saliba, and he's definitely one of our most important players, not just in terms of defending, leadership, and also attacking-wise. And now his English has gotten better and better. And as well as is one of our most... the longest serving players at the moment. He joined in 2020 alongside Partey, and most of our players are newer, and these are the ones that have stayed the longest, him and Partey. So he's a very important cog in this team, and we definitely need to keep him. And this is a type of defender I can see, you know, in the future. You can say Gabriel played for Arsenal for 10 plus years. I can definitely see it. So for me, Gabriel, that contract needs to be improved for him, and he is a very important player. But if we didn't improve his contract and he felt like he wanted to go to move on, Al Nassr are intent on signing Gabriel Magalhães this summer and are willing to offer salary in the region of 20 million euros. The Brazilian is understood to be open to a Saudi move during his career, but Arsenal are unlikely to consider offers under 100 million euros. That is even too low. It's not even supposed to be considered. If you want Gabriel, it's supposed to be like 150 million. That's how important he is. I don't think this season there's been a better defender than Gabriel. He's been that good. If you combine last season and this season, Gabriel is one of the players I look at and I'm like, man, you deserve to win this Premier League title so badly because of how good he's been. Now, considering playing in Saudi in the future, no problem. I can see him obviously going to Saudi in the future. Most players will if the league continues going up. Good money, good money. If they're willing to pay him like 3 times more than he's being paid at Arsenal, players would consider it. But I'm sure Gabriel looks like the type that, he wants to stay and win a league title with Arsenal. And since I started supporting Arsenal, Gabriel and Saliba is the best partnership I've seen. I was still new in 2004 with Toure and Campbell, so I never really got to watch them and understand the game at that time. But right now, the best defense I've watched over the last 20 years as an Arsenal fan is Gabriel and Saliba by far. So imagine losing both of them. That would be disgusting. We would get a lot of money, but where would we start? Where do we get replacements for Gabriel and Saliba? I don't think there's any, because we've basically developed those players. Gabriel was not great from the first game. It took him a couple of seasons to be this good. Saliba is the one. Even Saliba, you had to send him on loan for like 3 seasons for him to get to this level. So we cannot afford to lose this kind of player. And Gabriel, I'm sure he's going to be here next season, but the contract definitely needs to improve for him. He's not the only player that we're considering adding a contract for. Sami Makbel has also reported that Arsenal opened formal talks with Bukayo Saka of a new contract. Early work towards discussions already underway. Saka is entering the final 2 years of his deal. Another player that we definitely need to keep. You see the way Man City have done it since 2014, 15, 16, 17 there. They've had players like De Bruyne. Other players have come and left. Aguero has left, David Silva has left, but players like De Bruyne have stayed. You still have to have, 7, 8 players who are always staying there. Someone like a Bernardo Silva. So yes, in the next 4 years, Partey will not be here. Jorginho will not be here. Ben White might not be here. Calafiori might not be here. Jesus will not be here by then. Martinelli might not be here by then. Trossard will not be here by then. But you still need to keep a few other players, and players like Saka and Gabriel need to be there, and then you change players around them, be it because of age. Partey and Jorginho will not be there by that time, be it in improving those positions. The next 4 years, the team will change, but you cannot change the entire 20 players. You have to keep 7, 8 of them, and then you keep on changing the rest of the players until their time comes as well. So Saka is a player that you should not even consider letting him go. There's no chance. And Saka, I'm sure he's happy being at Arsenal, but obviously we need to start winning trophies very soon. Saka to me looks, I don't want to just assume people's characters, but since he's an Arsenal guy, I know there's previous people who've left Arsenal, but those guys weren't really Arsenal guys, Fabregas and Van Persie, those guys had come from somewhere else. But Saka looks like even if he didn't win a trophy this season, next season, the next season, you'd still be here. But this is the kind of player that deserves to win something. This season, he was heading towards breaking the assist record until he got injured. He's one of our most consistent players. I think he's definitely our most consistent player over the last 5 years. The number of games he's played, the way he's been improving in goals and assists all those years. Saka, you have to keep him. And again, he's the 6th paid player at Arsenal, highest paid player. He definitely needs to be higher than that. So let's see how that one goes. And then lastly, again, from Sami Makbel, Thomas Partey and Jorginho are both out of contract. We talked about this one yesterday, but this is from Sami Makbel. And we'll leave Arsenal this summer as things stand. Leandro Trossard, who has held talks of a new deal, is out of contract in the summer of 2026. Now, I think what will eventually happen is between those 3 players, I think Jorginho is definitely going to leave. And then midfield is very difficult to know with Partey. Unless we sign another midfielder as well as Zubimendi, or we move right back to the number 6 position, it's difficult to know. But Trossard is another one. I don't think there's a situation where we let go of both Trossard and Martinelli. If you want to get a new left winger, then either Trossard or Martinelli will leave. But we need to sort out the striker first. and then the winger after that, and then we need to get someone else to play in the middle attacking areas. That is the kind of transfer window I want. And you still need players on the bench. I'm happy to keep Trossard on the bench next season and have someone else starting on the left side. If Martinelli and Trossard are both on the bench, and then we have someone else starting on the left side, then those are good enough players to bring off the bench. But obviously, you have to look at the money. Do Arsenal have enough money without selling players? Do we have enough salary to give all the players around? So there's a lot of things we have to consider. But it's going to be a busy transfer window for sure. The things that will happen this transfer window, not only in terms of incomings and outgoings, the contract situations with Saliba, Gabriel, Saka, and also the players who could be returning on loan. Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, what is going to happen to those players? How much are you eventually going to get for Ramsdale's sale? How much are you going to get for Lokonga's sale? Tavares, you're going to get the money from Lazio for him as well. Like, it's just going to be a busy transfer window, very, very busy. Let's see how it goes. But let me know what you make about all that. Make sure to check out yesterday's video. It's on screen right now. We talked about everything else from Saka's return date, Saliba's contract, Andrea Berta's starting his work at Arsenal. Make sure to check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.